I would like to reiterate that under the able leadership of His Excellency the President, William Ruto, the Ministry remains well guided on the promotion, projection, and protection of Kenya's strategic interests in collaboration with our friends and partners. In this respect, and in order to enhance and improve strategic coordination, the government has reviewed the decision that previously allowed diplomatic and consular missions, UN agencies, and international organizations to directly contact government ministries, departments, and agencies. Going forth, all correspondences with the government shall be transmitted through the Office of the Chief of Protocol, State Department of Foreign Affairs. We believe that this review will allow for a more coherent approach to issues of mutual concern, and we seek your kind cooperation on this matter. We will also refine the internal systems in the ministry so that those hiccups that we may have experienced shall be dealt with, and will have a more robust engagement. Excellencies, Kenya aspires to strengthen its economic diplomacy in order to increase economic opportunities for our people. We are delighted to be a pilot nation for the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, the world's largest free trade zone with a population of 1.2 billion people and a GDP of $3 trillion US. As you are aware, Kenya sits at the confluence of three important regions of Africa: the Horn, the East African Community, and the Great Lakes region, thus becoming an important gateway to the rest of the continent. I appeal to investors from your countries to take advantage of Kenya's strategic geopolitical positioning, our macroeconomic stability, as well as the country's progressive economy for mutual prosperity and growth. Kenya also remains committed to promoting constructive multilateralism that ensures safeguards a fair and equitable international order, promotes respect for international law, and champions the adherence of the UN Charter. Kenya is persuaded that this is the best way to address difficult and challenging global issues. As you are aware, His Excellency President William Ruto is championing African and indeed the global climate action in his capacity as the chair of the Committee of African Heads of State and Government on Climate Change. Kenya will continue to advocate for a stronger African voice in the global climate change debate and a more prominent leadership role for Africa in global climate action. As we approach COP28, Kenya intends to deliver the outcomes of the Africa Climate Summit, which was held in Nairobi last September. On matters of maintenance of international peace and security, I wish to extend my appreciation to the international community, which through the United Nations Security Council approved the deployment of an international security operation to the brotherly nation of Haiti. Kenya extends her appreciation to the international community for breathing life to the multinational security support mission to Haiti, which Kenya hopes to lead. We are counting on your logistical, financial, personnel, and other critical support that would be essential to Haiti's stabilization. Excellencies, Kenya's peace and security credentials are widely known in the region and throughout the world. We believe that there can never be meaningful economic advancements without peace and stability. Likewise, we remain persuaded that to be African is to have global responsibility, which is why we have consistently risen to the occasion whenever peace and security in our region and beyond is threatened. The Juba Peace Agreement, the inter-Congolese dialogue, and the deployment of the East African Community Regional Force to DRC, the efforts at silencing the guns in Ethiopia and Sudan, as well as other peace initiatives, dovetails appropriately with our pursuit of a stable region, continent, and world. Your partnerships, engagement, and support have been crucial in buttressing Kenya's and indeed the African peace security architecture in totality. Kenya has greatly invested in her bilateral relationships and partnerships. Our bilateral relations are founded on historical ties, strong friendships, common values, and a shared desire for socio-economic progress. I can assure you that we all value all of our bilateral relationships and are eager to further strengthen ties with partners from Africa, Asia and Australasia, Europe, the Americas and Latin America, and the Middle East in a number of mutually beneficial sectors that we have identified and are already working on. To reap tangible benefits, we need to fully implement the Memoranda of Understanding and bilateral agreements that we have signed with one another. In addition, we need to explore new areas of collaboration in keeping with global trends and the evolving needs of our respective peoples. As the central coordinator of Kenya's foreign policy, the ministry remains keen on maintaining regular contact with our partners and engaging in consultations on issues of shared interest. As the Cabinet Secretary responsible for Diaspora Affairs, I note with satisfaction that the Kenyan diaspora is increasingly becoming an important part of your country's socio-economic fabric. Our people have invested their skills, knowledge, and expertise in medicine, science, academia, and in other sectors of your economies. Most of these Kenyans consider your countries their second home. Accordingly, and in order to advance beneficial people-to-people interactions, as well as promote trade and investment between our countries, we will continue to engage with you bilaterally on the issue of restrictive visa regimes and regulations, as well as other administrative limitations that might hamper positive and safer mobility. Profoundly humbled by your kind words. I am also aware that a number of you have sought one-on-one meetings with me. We are addressing your requests, and I expect to honor them in the shortest time possible. To respond efficiently to your requests, I intend to make use of established structures, including your regional deans and groupings, to address your concerns. I want to assure you that the ministry will continue to engage with members of the diplomatic corps on a regular basis, cognizant of the fact that an open channel of communication and regular exchanges of ideas are crucial to creating trust amongst friends. Indeed, Kenya is fortunate to host a large and truly cosmopolitan diplomatic community. As you may know, we are home to 93 resident embassies and high commissions, 40 consulates, as well as 40 non-resident embassies and high commissions. We also proudly host the only United Nations headquarters in the entire global south, in addition to 47 offices of UN agencies, as well as 113 international organizations. We are proud of the vibrancy and color that you all bring to the city of Nairobi. Your Excellencies, His Excellency President William Ruto's philosophy and ethos are geared towards accelerating the realization of the bottom-up economic transformation, better, in Kenya. His Excellency the President is keen on partnerships that will empower Kenyans, particularly those at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder. In this regard, our main focus is on strategic initiatives that will contribute to economic growth, job creation, food security, and sustained poverty reduction. These include agriculture, universal health, industrialization, promotion of micro, small, and medium-sized businesses, and the digital economy, among other initiatives aimed at improving the living conditions of all Kenyans. We believe in the power of partnerships and count on the friendship and collaboration of all our development partners for the realization of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Indeed, when we collaborate with others, we can achieve so much more. This is consistent with the Swahili saying, umoja ni nguvu, utengano ni udhaifu, which simply means that unity is strength.